Hello dear chess friends, welcome to another middle game strategy chess lesson. Today I'll be sharing a very beautiful way of playing here with white. A player who is a professional Potkin will lead us the way, but before I show you how did he play, I would like you to pause the video and think how would you have played in this position. What Potkin had in mind is that he is piling up against d6 pawn. That's the weakness that he wants to play against, and it's an object of an attack in his middle game strategy. And he plays rook e1 to e3. Now it seems that it's going to be just a simple way of attacking the pawn, which would be fine, simply tripling on the d file. But he had something very beautiful here in mind. So now black plays knight e7, improving the knights a little bit. And if say we would play rook to d3, of course black would just keep trying to defend the pawn somehow. But white, on the other hand, plays rook h3. Why would he do that? Well, you see, everyone is saying the knights are very short pieces. So white's intention is that he wants this knight to become as passive as possible, so that then it couldn't help black guarding the d6 pawn. So now the threat is very simple. We want to play queen h6. So the knight goes back to g8. And now it becomes passive. Now before he gets back to d3, and remember knight takes 2 moves to start defending the pawn, he plays rook g3. So now the knight wants to come to f5 and simply take the pawn. So black plays a prophylactic king h8. Here white plays again prophylactic move b3, so that the pawns wouldn't be hanging on the queen side when he reshifts his pieces. Rook bd8 for black. He's piling up to defend the d6 pawn, and now finally plays rook d3. So now this time knight is far away from the defense of the d6 pawn. So white reverts to his main target, the d6 pawn here, keeping in mind that the knight has become a lot passive. Now if black was just to play rook d7 and rook d8, trying to defend this as much as possible, which could be a passive way of trying to defend, white will probably play something like knight c2. Of course there are many moves, but this one is the most obvious one because it starts threatening the pawn. Say black plays rook ed8, and then white would try to play for something like knight a4 and knight c5, right? So then he wants to disturb the rook. Once it leaves, we take that, and of course you cannot take the knight due to massive pressure against the d7, or the pin as they say in chess. However, in the game, black decided to play for queen b6, and he's trying to play for d5, sacrificing a pawn for some sort of activity. However, it's too late, and white just plays lots of beautiful prophylactic moves here. h3, king g7 by black, knight c2, now the pawn starts hanging on d6, d5, and of course, while we could take, white is thinking, why not improve this knight first? So for example, taking massive times on d5, say this forcing line, white is of course a lot better and maybe even theoretically winning, right? Especially from practical point of view, due to the extra pawn being up, but he prefers improving the knight first. So even here, he plays knight e3. Black cannot do much. In the game, he played knight e7, then knight g4. Queen wants to come to h6, so knight g8 again defending, and now he goes for the same forcing line. Takes, and this time white's knight is very well improved. So it's so good and devastating to the black's position that black just kicks it out, and knight e3. And with a sound extra pawn and safer king, white is practically, I would say, winning. Hope you enjoyed this short video lesson and this beautiful example of how the position was played out by Potkin. And if you did, please subscribe to my channel. If you thinking of improving your chess, you can hire me as your personal chess coach online. The contacts are on the bottom right. Otherwise, I wish you best of luck in your game and see you tomorrow in the next video.